Fellow musicians, I want to thank Joaquin here for getting us all together for this, might well call it, a workshop on song leading. And I hope to learn from you, and I'll pass on as much as I know, much as I can. It just so happens that this very year, I've decided if I never make another record again, I wanted to make a recording of what I know about song leading, and I did a kind of a sing-along concert east, which will be out with Folkways later this year, which is specifically try and explore some of the different techniques I've learned over the years about song leading. Consider this, that our ancestors once upon a time lived in tribes and villages, and they all sang together, really, whether it was North Europe or South Europe or Africa or where else. It was a common thing for villages and small groups of people to know the same songs. Maybe all the men sang the men's songs, the women sang the women's songs. And in this modern life, things have gotten broken up. Some people sing in churches. Summer camps will sing when they get to know each other well. And I guess other organizations have this singing too, but I think you and I face kind of a special situation in this period of history, late 20th century, of walking out on some kind of a platform or standing up in some kind of a room with a batch of other people who come from a whole lot of different places, a lot of different traditions. And we'd like them to sing together too, just like they did in the old days. And how are we going to get them together? I, all my life, loved to holler and make a racket, and I'd sing Christmas carols with my friends and school songs. I sang the school chorus and glee club later on. But it was when I started making a living of sorts, traveling around with the banjo, that people pointed out to me, and I gradually realized that while I didn't have really much of a voice, that I could get people singing with me, and that made up for a lot of lacks on my part. When they were all singing loud, they didn't care whether I could sing good or not. They were the music that came out was pretty good. Usually I sing standing up. Now, Lead Belly always sang sitting down and got a crowd singing with him. Josh White would put his foot on a chair, and he'd get a crowd singing with him. It was Josh, incidentally, who gave me the idea, taught me, of feeding out the lines between a song. He did it so expertly. On top of old Smoky, all covered with snow, I lost my true lover.
I lost my true love.
Walking so slow.
Walking so slow.
Of course, you can do that with a jillion other songs. Sometimes it's easier than other times. Sometimes you have to really shoot out the words quick, and if you're a fraction of a second too late or too early, it confuses things rather than helping. With a song, If I Had a Hammer, for example, I don't have time to give the whole line. I'm singing at top speed with top energy, and yet it does help the crowd. Even though they theoretically know the song, it does help them if I just give them a little hint. I got a hammer. Well, I got a hammer. I got a bell. I got a bell. And I got a song. And I got a song. Oh, it's the hammer of justice. It's the hammer of justice. The devil of freedom. It's all about love between the brothers and the sisters. That I don't usually sing in the beginning of a concert. And part of this workshop is going to be on how you can group songs. You want a flow and continuity, at the same time you want variety. And sometimes when you find yourself getting in a rut, the best way to do is just make a violent switch, do something totally unexpected. I've given up planning songs too exactly in advance. I try to, but sometimes the improvised ones work better. And one reason they work better is that right in the middle of a concert, I think, oh, things are not going as well as they should. I got to think of them. So while I'm singing one song, I'm trying to think of what can I do to get out of this rut. I may sing a very slow song with no accompaniment. I may sing a funny song or a bawdy song or for that matter, something very, very serious. But a switch, something that was not expected. And maybe my own success as a singer is more due to this, the fact that I've got a lot of songs in the back of my head, several hundred, and I can pull them out, pull out the right song at the right time, because I really don't have much in the way of voice. I can sing, but not what you call a good voice. I can play guitar and banjo, but I'm not a great instrumentalist. But having this batch of songs in the back of my head that I can pull out a wide range of songs, and after all, no two audiences are alike, right? We sing for senior citizens, or we can sing for little kids. We can sing for shy country people, or blasé teenagers. So it's a big help to know a lot of different kinds of songs. Otherwise, well, no, if you want to stick to one particular type of audience, maybe you're safe there. Like if you always sing for summer camps, you know all the camp songs. John Jacob, Jingle Irish Smith. And I suppose the same thing would go if you sang mostly for senior citizens. You sing mostly for senior citizens. You say, what kind of songs do you sing?
Well, I usually hand out like percussion instruments and do some up-tempo things.
Tambourines? Good.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Ain't She Sweet or...
old pop songs.
Yeah.
Margie, I was thinking of you, Margie. I bet they remember the days of the bouncing ball. Yeah. I don't mind reading words off a screen, and from time to time I do it. I shoot words up on the screen, or I write out words on a big sheet of paper. But I really don't like everybody burying their nose in a sheet of paper. And when I'm coming to sing for some audience and they say, well, let us know some of the songs you're going to sing, we'll mimeograph them and we'll have everybody. I say, please don't. You can mimeograph them if you want to, but let's hand them out later on. Don't hand them out while I'm singing, because there's a kind of unity lost, I think, when everybody's got their nose buried in that piece of paper. First of all, you can't sing well this way. You sing much better with your head raised up. And of course, as any choral director knows, you sing best when you're standing up. Fill a lung full of air, really sing out. But I think I've started off this session, and I'll continue on a little bit. Have any of you had this experience that the choice of song can be crucial? I mean, you might think a song would always be good, but somehow it didn't sound like it was supposed to. It didn't go over, and the reason was because it was in the wrong place. Maybe you had too many loud songs, and it was one more loud song. Or maybe it was you'd had too many slow songs, it was one more slow song. Or else it didn't mean anything to the people. And in a sense, we're not just singing, as you know, music, we're singing words. And I feel sometimes the words can be meaningless, as in a lot of pop songs they are, granted. I was trying to analyze some pop songs, and the more I thought of how stupid can you get? What was it, Disney? Well, Margie is a typical. I confess that I came to this whole field feeling that the world needs to be pulled together, and musicians can help pull it together. 1% of the country owns 1/3 of its wealth, and I'd like to unify the other 99% if I could. The men and the women, and the gay and the straight, and the black and the white, and the young and the old, and the long hair and the crew cut. Some people think I'm wrong about this. They say you're trying to unify too large a group. Cut it down to 80%. But I find myself sticking with the 99%. And if I offend the other 1%, I don't really mind. But I don't like to offend people if I don't have to. On the other hand, I think often that I haven't done a good job if I haven't stretched their imagination a little by singing something that they're not quite sure they agree with. And so this is part of it, singing a foreign language song occasionally. What do I want to sing in Spanish for? Only speak Spanish. But I feel very strongly that this country needs to be more bilingual. And I sing Spanish songs whenever I get a chance to. Guantanamera is, of course, one of the great ones. But there's an awful lot more. But this feeling of continuity and variety, too, is what I probably was able to develop more than most people because I had a good memory. I guess a good memory does help. I can't remember a grocery list, but I can remember songs. And I can't remember if I sit down and try and write them, but I stand up and start singing, and there's a memory in my tongue somewhere, a memory in my muscle or in my hands. It happened just the other day. I was going to sing Hard Rain Is Gonna Fall with a lot of words. And I said, I haven't sung this about 6 months. Do I know it really? And I said, I don't. Well, I got to try it anyway. I remember the whole song once I got up there. 10,000 people were in front of me, and I would have been kind of embarrassed if I mucked it. But once I started singing, the muscle memory came out, and I remembered all the lines. So memory does help. One of the questions asked, does pitch help? Does rhythm help? All these things help. Let's take these up later on. But right now I'm talking about knowing a whole lot of